Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another opinion piece. So before I get into today's topic, I do want to go through my favorite comments from the last episode, which was about whether The Sims 4 can be redeemed in the eyes of the community. Alright, so the first comment comes from Llama Drama. Love that name, by the way. The main problem to me is that the game feels empty. I have all the expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs, and it still feels like my Sims have barely anything to do. And I can relate to this because even though I still have a lot of fun playing The Sims 4, I often have many moments where I'm thinking, oh, if we had this in the game, this would be even better. Like, one example was when I was playing in the fashion district of San Myshuno, and I was watching the trains and the cars go by, and then I thought, wow, I wonder how cool this would look if it was raining right now. So I have a lot of moments like that. I think just about every time I play The Sims 4. But what helps me deal with that is I've gone through this process twice over, because I did go through that with both The Sims 2 and The Sims 3. I didn't start playing The Sims 2 until around the time Open for Business came out, but with The Sims 3 I definitely experienced that a lot because that was the first Sims game I actually had from launch at the very beginning. So I think it is just like that, again with The Sims 4, where it's like, okay, yeah, it kind of sucks that we don't have this or that, but with time, the game will get much better, I think. I think what would help is if they released more packs of more substance, namely the game packs and expansion packs, more often, and the stuff packs less often. And I think they may finally be following through on that, because there has been this pattern that a lot of people have noticed, where basically there's two stuff packs back to back between every game pack and expansion pack release. But instead of what should have been another stuff pack, they're releasing the vampire game pack first, and then the bowling stuff pack is coming later, so they're definitely changing up things. And with the vampire game pack coming out so early in the year, I think that is a pretty good sign that we'll at least get 2 game packs this year, if not 3, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high. But I do think that once we have more game packs and expansion packs, then the game will start feeling like it has more weight to it. It is, like, right now, kind of crazy because we're going into double digits with the stuff packs now, because the bowling stuff pack is the 10th one. And then the vampire game pack is going to be the 4th one, and we have 3 expansions. So, yeah, that's a pretty crazy imbalance. Because of what's happened in the first couple of years of The Sims 4, I think there will still be a pretty big total of stuff packs by the end of The Sims 4's lifespan. But hopefully, going forward, there will be a better balance between the 3 types of packs. The next comment comes from Butterfly Princess Sim Fan. I just feel like The Sims 4 is lacking in so many ways. Toddlers are important, but right now I think most of it's focused on young adult gameplay, less on family and generations. I'm still trying to give Sims 4 a chance. I am playing Sims 3 more and more. Sims 4, I fall asleep while playing. It's comments like these that really encourage me to think more and more that family play is the key to The Sims 4's redemption. I do agree that the game does focus too much on the young adults and not enough on families. It does seem to take a very long time for feedback to really start showing up in the game. Like, for example, we started asking for more beds about a year ago, I think. And then it was only with City Living and Vintage Glamour that it was apparent that they did hear us loud and clear. It just took a long time. Another example may be what I've already talked about with them breaking the typical release pattern and perhaps doing more game packs and expansion packs and less stuff packs. So hopefully 2017 will finally be the year that we see The Sims 4 swing in a more family-oriented direction. It is still too early to judge, but at least with the bowling stuff pack, that is a pretty good activity to do with families in my opinion. Next comment comes from Thraxis. I am so tired of hearing people complain about toddlers. Sims 4 is my first Sims game and I've never missed them. I don't really like the current baby-to-child gameplay, so toddlers would not be something I would want. In fact, I have vowed to never buy an expansion pack with toddlers just because of the complaining I hear about. I swear you can't post a single thread about Sims 4 in places without someone bringing up toddlers. It has poisoned the well for me because of the constant complaining. After making this video, I have come into contact with people both here on YouTube and on Twitter that have only played The Sims 4, and that's their first Sims game. They haven't played the previous ones. It's really interesting to hear that perspective because it can be very different from those of us who have been with The Sims since The Sims 1, like me. And because of that, I am really glad that I get to feature a comment like this in this video. Putting myself into the shoes of these players, I can kind of see where Thraxis is coming from. It must be really annoying coming into the series for the first time and seeing so many people complaining about how, oh, this or that should have been in the game, and not being able to sympathize with them because, well, this is their first game. I'm not saying that it's bad if The Sims 4 is your first Sims game, but I can definitely see how the complaining may be even worse for people who have just got into the series within the past couple of years compared to the people who are actually complaining themselves. While I can't really relate to this particular situation with The Sims, I can somewhat relate on this level, but in regards to oversaturation of certain video games. Because there are certain games like Minecraft where it's like, I've seen so much of it and people talk about it all the time, and I mean, it's okay if you like Minecraft, but for me, it's just like, I see so much of it everywhere. I'm tired of the game before I've even played it and given it a chance. So if you ever wondered why I've never played Minecraft on my channel, well, that's a good part of the explanation right there. Not all of my reasons, but definitely a good portion of it. Alright, I got a couple more comments I want to feature. I'm not going to read them in full as they are quite long, but I still wanted to kind of summarize them and talk about them as well because I think they definitely are worth mentioning. Jay says that he doesn't think The Sims 4 can really redeem itself, but judging it on its own, it's still a good game, but it is labeled as a sequel and it's missing depth. They're spending too much of their budget on things like the talking toilet, and not enough on things like elevators. Especially after Thraxis' comment, I can definitely agree with the sentiment of The Sims 4 being good on its own. When you don't compare The Sims 4 to its previous games, it definitely is in a more favorable light. And that is very likely the perspective of people who are coming into The Sims for the first time ever with The Sims 4. I do agree about the talking toilet. I can't help but wonder though, if the talking toilet had come much later in the game, after family gameplay, after pets, after seasons, after university, and was maybe put into a pack that's more sci-fi, like into the future, would have the toilet been seen as a more favorable object? I don't know. But I think that might be the case. Yeah, it might have actually been a more loved object in people's eyes. But what's done is done, and that is really disappointing that they decided to put that. They spent all that time on that object, whereas they could have probably spent a bit more time on making the elevators more animated. At least have the Sims get into the elevator and the doors open and close, even if the Sims just teleport still. I also agree about the point about apartments and that we're paying to play The Sims, not real life. And, well, the festivals, you can probably tell by the title, I'll get to that a little bit later. This last comment comes from Gamer Girls Network. She says she doesn't believe Maxis can fix this game because they've gone too far away from what people love about The Sims. There isn't enough substance, and there's annoying negative consequences. She went back to playing the console version of The Sims 2, and it has a lot to give. Sims 4 is frustrating for her, even after giving it many chances. Even though I think there's still hope for The Sims 4, I do agree that they have drifted a little too far from what made The Sims in the first place. It really does remind me of The Sims 3 and how they were trying to make the game an RPG at first. And yeah, it just feels like that again, but in a different way. I find the point about negative consequences as well as Sims swarming to certain objects interesting. I think those things mentioned, like the wind chimes and the bird feeder, I think they put those things in there just to make the game more realistic and more challenging as well, because, yeah, I mean, in real life, I don't think everybody likes wind chimes, and bird attacks can happen in real life too, And I have seen a lot of complaints about The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, about both those games being a bit too easy. I can still see why some people may not like those negative consequences as well and would look for mods to get rid of them. But, I don't know, I guess it's just one of those things where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. One way or another, there's going to be people who like and not like a decision that's made. After reading the last part of this comment, I'm starting to think more and more that over time, we're just going to end up picking our favorite Sims game. Some of us will like The Sims 2 the most, some of us will like The Sims 3, or The Sims 4, or The Sims 1, or even The Sims 5 whenever that comes around. Because some of us have different tastes, some of us prioritize certain features more, so some of us will drift towards certain games more than the other, and that's fine. I mean, if you like The Sims 2, then that's great, and I was shocked that even the modding community for that game is still pretty active, and they're not just like making clothes or whatever, they're actually still making some interesting breakthroughs with making the game just look better with skyboxes and horizons and things like that. It's quite interesting to see, so yeah, I just think that's gonna be the thing going forward. It's just that some of us are going to like certain games more than the other. Now that I think about it, it's not all that different from how it is with the Sonic fan base, where some people love classic Sonic, some people love Dreamcast Sonic, and some people love modern Sonic. Those three eras all had different focuses in regards to Sonic's character and how the gameplay is, and The Sims so far is like that too. I can't really point The Sims 1 in any direction, but that was the first Sims game, so they were still figuring things out at that point, I think. But then with The Sims 2, that's obviously the family-focused game, and then with The Sims 3, that focused more on the open world, and then with Sims 4, the focus is more on the Sims themselves, with things like emotions and multitasking. So I guess we'll just have to accept that The Sims isn't all that different from other video game series where we're going to pick our favorite game and stick to it. The latest game may not be the greatest in our eyes, and that's just how it is. As The Sims 4 goes on, maybe more people will end up liking the game more than the previous ones, but I'm sure some won't, as some people have stuck with The Sims 2 and never really fully invested into The Sims 3. So that's fine, and that's life, I guess. Wow, okay. That was a lot more time than I expected to spend on the comments of the previous episode, but it was a pretty heavy topic, and I did want to address a variety of different points of view compared to the Hidden Lots episode. So, what are we talking about again? Right, we're talking about festivals. I thought festivals would be an interesting thing to talk about next because, well, some people love them, some people hate them, and I'm pretty much in the middle. Just to be clear, this video is focusing on the festivals in The Sims 4, not the ones in The Sims 3 seasons. The festivals were without a doubt one of my favorite features in all of The Sims 3, so I was really excited when I heard that they were going to be coming back in The Sims 4 City Living. On one hand, I like that festivals add more life to the game. Even if your current household doesn't live in San Myshuno, you still get notified about them and can take part. It's also cool that if you happen to live in the district that the festival is taking place in, you don't need to go through a loading screen to get there. I find it interesting too that they fit in certain objects like the rocket ship and the voodoo doll that the producers found we generally don't use that often. However, these decisions ended up having drawbacks too. The festivals being in the public spaces instead of on actual lots came at the expense of customization. You can't build your own festivals, you're stuck with the ones in San Myshuno. Plus, there isn't a whole lot of new gameplay within each festival. The romance and humor and hijinks festivals, I find, are the most guilty of that. So we have these festivals that help liven up the game and encourage our Sims to get out of the house more, but on the other hand, we have a lack of customization, so they stay the same no matter how many generations you play through. Some of the festivals I do like quite a bit, like the Flea Market, GeekCon, and the Spice Festival, but then the others, yeah, they're just kinda eh. However, I don't think City Living will be the last we'll see of festivals in The Sims 4. I think this is just the beginning. I don't think they're going to be in every expansion pack or something crazy like that, but I think they do have a future. I don't think they went through all the trouble of programming the whole system of objects fading in and out and all that stuff for one expansion pack. Especially when we're talking about a Seasons expansion for The Sims 4. That's the most likely situation, I think, for festivals to happen in The Sims 4 again. I do hope that the Sim Gurus are listening right now to all the feedback that we're giving about festivals, because I do think that they can be improved. I can understand why they went the way they did with the festivals for San Myshuno. They really wanted to help make the city look like it was alive and breathing, and that you could just easily go to them, so there was kind of like a more open world feel without it actually being open world. But I don't think they really need to do that if they put festivals in other worlds. It definitely makes sense for San Myshuno, where it's all very close quarters and all that stuff, but not every world for The Sims 4 will be like that, I think. Especially if, say, the Seasons expansion pack came with a very rural world like Appaloosa Plains, where all of the houses are spread out anyway. We don't really need the festivals to be on a public space, in my opinion. I think in those cases, it's alright if it's more like The Sims 3, where we can just have the festival on a lot that we can customize. They could maybe still reuse that technology of the objects fading in and out slowly, but yeah, I'd much rather have customization with the next festivals, whenever they're going to be in the game next. Also, if we do get seasonal festivals in The Sims 4, they're going to have to change things up a little with their existing festival system anyways, because they would want the festivals to rotate in and out and change with every season. So yeah, they might as well go a little bit farther and make it so that we can make our own festivals as well. I think a couple of other packs that festivals could fit into are vacations and university. Maybe even a futuristic expansion pack if they add like another future world, or even if they do an Into the Past instead of festival there, but I'm not too sure what they could do in those. I suppose that would be more for a My Sims 4 wishlist video anyways. If you want me to do a wishlist video about future festival types I'd like to see, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do that, because I haven't actually decided what wishlist video I'd like to do next. And that about wraps up my thoughts on festivals and what I think and hope about their future in The Sims 4. So let me know your opinions in the comment section below, and I may feature it in the next episode. So be sure to leave a like or comment or even subscribe, because it lets me know that you like my channel and my videos. I do videos on The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I'll talk to you later, guys, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!